What's up, everyone? Welcome to part 3 of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 yet, go check those out first. Seriously, they're packed with game-changing insights. Today, we're covering some powerful principles that'll transform how you connect with people. These stories are wild, so let's get into it. Be a good listener and encourage others to talk about themselves. Here's a wild story from Dale Carnegie that'll flip how you think about conversations. One night, he meets this botanist, a legit plant expert. Carnegie knows nothing about plants. But here's what he does. He sits on the edge of his seat and just listens. Like, really listens. Totally locked in on what this guy is saying. The kicker? Carnegie barely says a word the entire time. And yet, the botanist walks away thinking Carnegie is the most amazing conversationalist he's ever met. Wait, what? The guy who said almost nothing became the most interesting person in the room. Why? Because Carnegie gave him something rare, his full, genuine attention. And that kind of listening? That's the ultimate compliment. Picture this. A furious customer storms into Julian F. Detmer's office. This guy owes the company $15, but he's adamant he doesn't owe it. After getting multiple collection letters, he travels to Chicago and basically says, "I'm not paying this, and I'm never buying from you again." Now, what would most people do? Argue back, right? Pull out receipts? Prove he's wrong? Nope, not Detmer. He just listens, calmly, patiently, doesn't interrupt once. Then he says something completely unexpected. "Thank you for coming. You've done me a huge favor. It sounds like we upset you. I want to make this right." And boom, he writes off the debt. Just like that, the guy's entire demeanor shifts. Suddenly, he feels heard. He feels important. He starts ordering more from the company. Then when he gets home, he finds an invoice he forgot about and sends a check for $15 with an apology. The kicker? He became a loyal customer for the next 20 years. Make people feel valued, and they'll move mountains for you. Sometimes the best way to win an argument? Stop fighting it. There's this simple quote that changes everything. To be interesting, be interested. You don't become fascinating by talking about yourself. You become fascinating by being genuinely curious about others. Because here's the brutal truth about human nature. People care way more about their own stuff than anything else. How much more? Let me put it this way. Someone's toothache bothers them more than a famine in China. A tiny pimple on their neck concerns them more than 40 earthquakes in Africa. Talk about what your listener loves and is interested in. Anyone who visited Teddy Roosevelt at the White House walked away thinking, "Holy crap, this guy knows everything." Cowboy, politician, diplomat. Didn't matter. Roosevelt could talk to anyone about their thing, their passion. How? He did his homework. Before guests showed up, Roosevelt would stay up reading everything about their interests. Meeting a rancher? He'd study cattle and land management. Meeting a diplomat? He'd read about their country's history. By the time they sat down, he could speak their language. And they'd think, "Wow, the president really gets me." Here's what Roosevelt understood. The fastest way to someone's heart isn't impressing them with what we know. It's showing genuine interest in what they love. Edward Chalif needs funding to send a kid to Europe for a scout trip. He's meeting with this big shot executive. Before the meeting, he learned something. This guy recently wrote a check for $1 million. Most people would walk in and immediately pitch their needs, right? "Hey, we need money for this trip." Not Chalif. He walks in and says, "I heard you wrote $1 million check. Can I see it?" The executive lights up, pulls it out, tells the whole story. Chalif is genuinely fascinated, asking questions, listening. Notice what he did? He didn't talk about the Boy Scouts. He talked about what the executive cared about. Then the guy asks him, "So, what do you need?" The result? He doesn't just fund one kid. He funds 5, covers 7 weeks, sets up their whole trip, even personally greets them in Paris. Professor John Dewey said the deepest human craving is simple. We all want to feel important. So this guy is visiting an elderly relative, just a routine family visit. But he decides to try something, genuine appreciation. He starts noticing details. "Wow, this place is beautiful. When was it built?" Her whole face lights up. She tells him how she and her late husband dreamed of building this home together. Takes him on a full tour. Every piece has a story. The china, the paintings, the antiques. And he's genuinely interested, asking questions, listening. They get to the garage. Sitting there is this gorgeous, brand new luxury car. She says sadly, "I haven't driven it since my husband passed away." Then she turns to him. "You appreciate beautiful things. I want you to have this car." He's shocked. Tries to refuse. "No, I couldn't possibly." But she keeps insisting. Won't take no for an answer. And finally, he accepts the gift and drives away in a brand new car. And that's it for part 3. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. See you in the next one.